I recommend the Patrick CC video I made about Drake and Josh. I've actually been meaning to watch that. Thank you for reminding me. This keeps hitting my YouTube recommended, and I've really wanted to check it out. I don't know the whole history between Drake and Josh, but I think, like everyone else, I believe they were good friends off air. But it seems like that was never really the case.
While filming one of the last episodes of the season where Drake and Josh fight over a shrimp, Stephen Malaro, who was a writer on The Amanda Show, walked over to Dan and was like, "Those two guys are your buddy comedy right there."
God, Dan Schneider's such a fucking creepy guy. Good lord. I'm surprised he didn't pitch Dan on like a foot-centric TV show. What is Dan doing now? I know he's fired from Nickelodeon, but what is he currently doing? Does anyone know off the top of your head? I can look it up, but I'd rather just see chat's fan theories, I guess. Someone has to know. OnlyFans? Nah, I doubt that. Oh, maybe like subscribing to every OnlyFans ever. Possibly. Yeah, he got fired from Nick. Well, I don't even know if he got fired. He left Nickelodeon. Dan was already making a foot-centric show called iCarly. Fucking true. Running a foot massage parlor in Thailand. So no one knows what Dan Schneider's doing. I'll look it up myself, I suppose. What are you up to, Dan? Dan Schneider controversy about verbal abuse and maltreatment of young actors. This is brand new. Is he still under investigation? Oh man, anyone remember this theory? I highly doubt this was ever true. But when Zoe Spears got pregnant and had to leave Zoe 101 shortly thereafter, the rumor was that it was Dan Schneider's kid. And there's like a whole bunch of like crazy fan theories on how that was possible and why that was likely. Or Jamie Lynn Spears, sorry. Zoe 101, Jamie Lynn Spears, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Yeah, that shit was crazy. Deadline reported in July 2021, an investigation by Viacom discovered that Schneider was allegedly yelling at young performers, throwing tantrums, and sending angry emails and texts to them outside of working hours. He apparently requested massages for his shoulders and neck as well from the kids. That definitely sounds like Dan Schneider. Producer tells New York Times via People that he never dealt with performers in any way, texting or otherwise, that should make anyone uncomfortable. When someone says that, that just makes me uncomfortable. That makes me think that you were doing something that would make me uncomfortable. A number of well-known performers, including some who are underage, had expressed their displeasure with the uproar surrounding the photos of their feet. I couldn't and I wouldn't have the friendships and loyalties of so many individuals of good standing, he explained. Yeah, the feet pics were really weird. Early on in Twitter's infancy, he ran this Twitter campaign to have kids send pictures of their feet. It was like an iCarly thing, but they were sending the feet pics to Dan for some reason. Dan was described by former co-workers as demanding and vindictive. In addition to interviewing Dan Schneider's producer, the New York Times spoke to people from Schneider's history. Schneider and Gradstein worked on 4 shows together, and Gradstein remembers how stressful their cooperation was. He could be generous and affirming, and it was wonderful to be in the presence of his talent and passion for making entertainment. His demands were unnecessarily high, and his control and demeaning demeanor, wow, lacked restraint or business etiquette. Does anyone remember if, what's her name? Is her name Jeanette McCurdy? Might have been, from iCarly. She quit acting altogether because her mom was apparently very awful, like very controlling. And Tiana told me the other day that Jeanette McCurdy even had like a song or a book or something called "I'm Glad My Mom Died" or something fucking intense like that. I'm getting off topic, but does anyone remember if she said Dan Schneider was good or bad? Because she said something about Dan Schneider, and I don't remember if it was positive or negative. Does anyone remember? Bad for sure. For some reason, I believe she said that it was something positive with Dan. I'm just gonna look it up myself. Oh my god, that's Dan? Wow, this is... Whoa. That is absolutely someone that would have turned up to like a Chris Hansen investigation. This is... Who is this? Oh, this isn't Dan. Wait, what? Who is this? Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, he looks like Dan in a disguise. Oh, shit. It is Dan? Oh, fuck. I'm just going to double check myself. It can be remembered that in 2013, she shared a Vine video addressed to Schneider, which some say was a cry for help. McCurdy ended that post with, "Look what you've done to me. Look what you've done to me." I don't remember that. In 2014, and what other things was a rebuke, she and Cosgrove did not attend the 2014 Kids' Choice Awards when Schneider was the recipient of a Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2019, she opened up about her eating disorder, which started when she was 11. There are no direct statements towards Schneider's role in any of the issues, so fans continued to speculate. So did she not? I thought for sure she said something about Dan, and I really felt like she said something positive about him.
The first season was a little more typical to any sitcom, coming up with catchphrases and basic plot lines. Luckily, the show got much better after season 1. They consistently got themselves in ridiculous situations and had to either work together or against
Man, I remember like all of this
shit.
They
came up with a master plan to sell Gary Coleman grills, which got them in jail, versus when they were fighting each other over a foam finger. In the beginning, it
Where's
was
the
very common that
GameCube?
Josh was the butt of the joke. I mean, it's very easy to pick on the overweight, goofy kid. Drake, on the other hand, would often be
was it, the Hypercube? Not the
rude,
GameCube, that was real.
He wouldn't stand up for his brother Josh.
GameSphere, thanks.
And friends. His character remained the inconsiderate troublemaker, but now Josh was having more luck with girls.
I didn't remember him getting so old in the show.
With Drake. Ultimately, at the end of every episode, they resolved their differences and concluded with a happy moment. These two just understood each other when it came to performing. Drake and Josh were the new age Bob Hope and Bing Crosby, Abbott and Costello, Martin and Lewis, Cheech and Chong, Keenan and Kel. They were so good it made us all believe that they were best friends beyond the screen, who had no way of showing Drake and Josh how much they loved the show. A lot of us forget that in 2005 there was barely any social media, no smartphones, no YouTube, no live streams, no follower counts. They worked a 9 to 5 while other kids went to school, and they went home to their families every day just like anyone else. These two just did what most normal teens do. Go to parties, hang out with girls, maybe get in some trouble. Well, at least Drake did. Josh wasn't partying much. Josh was actually going through some really tough times. Josh Peck was raised by a single mother. He actually never met his father. He was always interested in being an entertainer, doing stand-up comedy at the age of 9 years old because anything athletic was definitely out of the question. However, he always wanted to fit in. Being an
The confidence to do stand-up comedy in general is outrageous. I can't even imagine as a kid. Well, actually, it might be easier as a kid, because what asshole's going to start heckling a kid? You get a 9-year-old up on stage at the Laugh Factory. I don't think you're going to have, like, some guy booing and throwing cocktails at him or anything. So maybe that really helped with confidence. I don't know. But stand-up comedy's got to be, like, one of the scariest things to do for a human being. To put yourself up there and just potentially bomb in front of that many people has to be the most embarrassing feeling ever. I couldn't imagine that shit. Especially not as, like, a kid.
He was known as the fat, funny punching bag, who brought way more comedic value to the scene. When we watch these old episodes, we feel happy. Josh sees an underappreciated, depressed, overweight, and insecure child.
Oh, man. Is that a... I do this all the fucking time. I point at the computer screen as if you guys can see what the fuck I'm pointing at. This is from that movie where he's on that boat, and he just starts, like, insulting that kid, right? And he's like, your dad sucks. Your dad's a real piece of shit. Your dad's dead. Your dad's fucking awful. I fucking hate you. Your dad's awful. Yeah, Mean Creek. That clip was iconic. Yeah, and he even drops a slur. That shit was crazy. I remember seeing that when I was younger. I was like, oh my god. What episode of Drake and Josh was this? Oh, gee, good lord. Was that the season finale? Yeah, I've never seen Mean Creek. I've only ever seen that clip. And I don't even want to see the whole movie now. It just went so hard.
Stamos.
Hey,
he became one of
John
the most popular
Stamos.
creators on Vine, which is where he would eventually meet David Dobrik, the Paul brothers, the Vlog Squad, and become a popular influencer on YouTube with millions of subscribers.
He is
Drake
big on
hung around
YouTube.
Nickelodeon a little longer. He did star in a terrible, super bad remake movie called College, as well as a poorly received spoof comedy superhero movie.
Wait a minute. Wait, what is that one?
A
College?
remake movie called College.
I love shitty movies. I've never even heard of this. From the guys that brought you Waiting. That movie's a classic. How did they fuck this up? Has anyone seen this? Is it really bad? Yeah, it's awful. It's so bad. Is it fun bad or boring bad? Because bad comedies are usually not really fun bad. Is this really boring? Just boring bad? Oh, that's disappointing. 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, that makes me want to watch it. I just hate boring bad. Boring bad's a waste of time.
We thought Drake would be the best man. Turns out, he didn't even know about the wedding.
Thanks,
The
Reese
story
Devin.
blew up bigger than Drake could imagine. Thankfully, a couple months later, they made up and did some YouTube content together.
Back together again. We're all good.
Then they both spent the next year.
Wow, that seemed so fake.
They made up and did some YouTube content together.
Back together again. We're all good.
Oh, that's just painful. Oh, that just hurts to, like, hear. Ooh, man, these are two dudes that really just do not like each other. Holy shit. I think Josh Peck is probably, like, a pretty nice guy. But there's something about him. Every video I've ever seen of him, like, it's his eyes. They tell me, like, there's some, like, evil in there. Like, there's some, like, deep-rooted malice in that soul. And I don't know why I get that impression, but, like, when he smiles, like, his eyes don't. You know what I mean? It's just I just get like this really weird sensation when I like see him do like smiles or like really happy stuff. Again, I'm sure that he's like a nice guy and like a genuinely wholesome person. But I'd be lying if I said I just didn't get that like tingle in my sack that tells me this might be the devil. Might be like the devil in disguise or some shit.
We're together. What else do you want? What's happening, everybody?
In 2019, Josh came up with the idea to do a reboot of their classic show. The name of the reboot, Josh and Drake. When he reached out to Drake to read the script, things got weird. The idea was that Drake was going to be a failed musician and Josh was a successful real estate agent. They were basically parodying Drake's real life as a musician in Mexico, while Josh's character was a totally made-up life. Maybe they were trying to get back at Drake.
That's so fucked up. Wait, that's like genuinely fucked.
The opening line in the very first episode was supposed to be, "Hug yourself, kid," instead of their trademark saying, "Hug me, brother," which would have just been a slap in the face to the fandom.
What? This can't be real. This can't be real. Bro, how much does Josh hate Drake? Oh my. There's no way that's real. So the whole show is basically Josh just fucking Gangnam styling on the corpse of Drake's career. You did sense the evil after all. I've always said that. I have always believed that there is some kind of demon living in there. This was 100% real. I just don't believe that. Like, that first line is so goofily evil, like comically, like cartoonishly villainous. I just don't think that's right. And I don't think the concept of the show is ever Drake is a failed musician and I'm a super Giga Chad successful guy. I just really don't think so. It seems really made up. But maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know.
Then it transitions to Drake in Mexico performing at a quinceañera for the daughter of a drug cartel leader, where they are all drinking and doing hard drugs, which leads to a gunfight, and then they don't want to give Drake his money, which is all a super stereotypical way that Americans convey Mexican culture in Hollywood.
Fucking way.
Drake didn't want to do the Drake and Josh reboot without making some creative changes, because he didn't want to disrespect his Mexican fans. Josh wouldn't let Drake make those creative changes, and shortly after that, Drake started getting into his legal trouble.
There's no way. There's just no way. Hold on, I gotta look that up. This doesn't sound like a Drake and Josh reboot at all. This sounds like Josh tried to direct like the next John Wick, but also by shitting on Drake and making fun of him to his face. Oh, here we go. They also spilled details about the previously teased, now scrapped Drake and Josh revival series written by Josh himself that reportedly included offensive stereotypes about Mexican people. Is popbuzz.com. Okay, probably not reliable. But apparently this comes from a podcast interview, and it's Drake telling the story, so it also could just be made up. I would need to see the script. I have to. There's no fucking way Josh wrote some shit like that. No one would write shit like that. The pilot's script's opening scene is said to have included a fan reciting the iconic "Hug me, brother" line to Josh, who then replies, "Hug yourself, fuckhead." Nah, man, this isn't real. I'm sure there was like an attempt to bring back Drake and Josh at some level, but not like this, I don't think. Reading the script from an email on her phone. Her father, Enrique, the head of the cartel, sits in the middle of the party at a table surrounded by guards and beautiful women. Think Escobar Chapo. Drake is on stage, backed by a mariachi band. People drink copious amounts of alcohol and ingest other illicit substances. I mean, she read it from an email on her phone. I wish she just dropped the script. Like, just post it. And then prove to me it's Josh that wrote it. This is fucking wild.
However, he only admitted guilt of sending text messages that were sexual and then stopped once he was aware of the victim's age. The situation is definitely creepy. And there are a lot of other factors
really
to consider which have been broken down extensively on YouTube. But
that trial spawned a pretty wacky meme.
People fall.
I showed this meme before. Anyone remember this? Since it was so public on Zoom, people got to run wild with the memes.
You want to hear this afternoon?
It's pretty good. I'm not a big meme guy. This shit had me giggling.
Are you guys like not friends?
Not really, no.
He told a number of different lies on these podcasts that are starting to make fans question everything.
I knew that Drake and I didn't stay in touch for the 10 years since we had made the show. But no one needed to know that.
Here they are in 2012 at what appears to be a house
Ooh,
party. Here they
busted.
are spending Christmas together in 2013.
Ooh.
Here are multiple instances of them hanging out in 2014. In 2015, they had Drake come on Josh's show Grandfathered.
I think it's just
What a weird thing to lie about.
Working together again, and obviously we love each other.
Plus, Drake says that they talked when Josh announced that he was engaged. To suggest that they at least didn't stay in touch is wild.
He was surprised he wasn't invited then? If he's going bananas on you?
He's surprised, but then he takes to the internet and he starts writing these tweets that immediately like catch fire. I was at the Video Music Awards and I see him there and he sees me. And I go up to him like, and this might be the most Sopranos thing I've ever done. And I look at him and I go apologize to my wife right now.
Josh
No, you
literally filmed himself walking up to Drake. Does this look like how a gangster moves?
And is that the last communication?
No, that was pretty intense. That was pretty cool.
Much.
The VMAs was in August of 2017. Since then, they have filmed multiple YouTube videos together, worked on a Drake and Josh reboot, and I can only imagine they spent time together in their personal lives as well. That is not even close to the last time that they've had communication. Drake just recently started a podcast called Drake and Janet, with the same branding, which is just kind of weird, bro. Like, let it go. Drake still
No,
says
it's like the best
nothing
thing in
but
his
good
life.
things
Let
about
it
Josh,
ride.
And who could have ever guessed that their real life situation would turn out exactly like the episode Josh has done.
Come on, dude, I said I was sorry.
Yeah, I heard you.
Oh, I remember this episode.
I'm not mad at you. I'm done.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't want anything to do with you anymore.
Josh! What? Look, I'm sorry. Well, look, let me finish, okay? I was wrong, okay? I was wrong.
What a throwback.
What do you mean?
I need you more than you need me. I need you way more than you need me, all right? I'm sorry. I just need you to understand that... Sorry, Josh, I'm sorry.
Fuck, what a powerful ending. Damn. Good lord. Yeah, what a wild rabbit hole. Exit Prime. Infernoc. That was depressing. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing Drake can do to, like, reconcile. He literally pled guilty to some absolutely heinous shit. But I think Josh also isn't the greatest of people, to be fair. It doesn't seem like he's done anything like questionable, criminal, or anything like that, but the dude just seems to be kind of like a liar and a little unhinged with that Josh and Drake script. Watch the Rob video from the last dude. Oh yeah, I saw that underneath there. How Rob Dyrdek controlled MTV for 15 years. They were desperate. Rob Dyrdek was a god. I mean, still kind of is. Rob Dyrdek is almost solely responsible for, oh god, what the fuck? Robin Big, Fantasy Factory. Okay, yeah. And Ridiculousness. Okay. Yeah, fuck it. We'll watch this one too. Patrick CC slaps.
Rob Dyrdek was a professional
His channel's great.
skateboarder
I'm familiar
turned
with his
TV
channel.
star that has had control over MTV
I remember he
for
did
the past
the
15
Fiverr
years.
video as well not too long
60%
ago.
of the billion-dollar network is his show Ridiculousness, which sometimes is the only show they air for multiple days without a break. However, this is not by some sort of dumb luck. He made some sleek business moves that made MTV depend on him for years. Once he realized they were at his mercy, he rinsed them for millions and used their platform to become the soon-to-be billionaire we know today.
Wait, Rob Dyrdek is almost a billionaire?
Hoping to one day go pro and somehow make a career of it. In 1990, 16-year-old Rob Dyrdek witnessed his friends Chris Carter, Mike Hall, and Jimmy George invest $26,000 into creating Alien Workshop, a local skate brand that would put Ohio skaters on the map. He watched them build the company from the ground up. At the end of the 11th grade
Rob
in
is a good
1991,
businessman.
Rob
He is.
decided to skip his senior year and move to California to pursue a skating career after Alien Workshop offered him a $1,000 per month salary to be on the team. While he was out there, he represented Alien Workshop to give more presence to the brand in the
Back then, that was
skateboarding
probably
capital
huge,
of the
though,
world.
actually.
Although Rob was dead, in 1995 he got sponsored by a company called Drawers Clothing, which would later become the iconic DC. Back then, skaters
What?
had Nikes and comfortable athletic shoes
Wait, what?
to do every...
DC didn't start as DC? Bro, I used to love DC shit. Back when I still liked outdoor activities. I had no clue. What the fuck is Drawers? I had no idea. I thought DC literally just started from the ground up on like a skater's back or something. Like some dude just pulled himself up. He's like, I'm gonna make this company. And then made something that slapped.
It was also around the late
Pretty
90s
good.
and early
Oh,
2000s
wow.
where Rob created
Is that
this
Fred
image
Durst?
of flexing, luxury, and kind of living like a rapper, but for skating. Where skating at the time was this hesh, counterculture, and almost modest lifestyle. Like most skaters didn't have a brand. Their brand was, I'm a rad skater and that's it. Majority of the skate community thought Rob was a pompous prick, but he leaned in even more. December 2000, the cover of Big Brother magazine had Rob...
What the fuck? What is Big Brother magazine? I've also never heard of that, but man, what a magazine cover. Wow. Is that a real cheetah? Because that shit is looking goofy. I feel like that has to be like CGI'd or something. Do cheetahs look that silly?
2000 to 2002, Rob was at the peak of his skateboarding career. He was 27 years old, already pretty rich, and focusing hard on competitions and video parts to keep his relevance so he could sell
Wow,
more
this is
shoes.
very
2002
2000s.
is where he met Christopher Big Black Boykin, which would change his life forever. The reactions of security guards were hilarious because they would come out ready to fight and bully Rob. Then when Big pulled up, they got all soft and scared. They created a genius gimmick that really resonated with the skate community because everyone
forgot
could
all
relate
about
to it.
Rob
It
and
also
Big.
helped that Big Black was a funny, charismatic guy that had a lot of chemistry with Rob. Rob and Big, Season 1, Episode 1 launches November 2nd, 2006 and takes off immediately. Each episode
came out in
premiered to
06?
4
I thought it was
or 5
earlier than
million
that.
viewers. The two unlikely best friends were funny, full of energy, and really just so lovable. When you watched it, you just understood. Rob would come up with the most random ideas for skits, and Big would go along with whatever, like buying a mini horse so their dog has a friend, or starting an R&B group, or trying to time travel. The chemistry and bond created on TV was almost like
God,
you
what
were
a
a part of their
throwback.
family. Rob was working 24/7, writing ideas for the show, and guiding the production, where Big admits that he just showed up, brought the funny, and left. We're not sure what the facts are, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rob was being paid more. On top
Well,
of that, he
I
was
think he
very
probably
unhealthy
was.
at 430 pounds. Him and Rob were constantly disagreeing on creative ideas, which led to multiple blowout arguments, and he had a new baby on the way. Big decided he was done with Hollywood after season 3. He moved to Texas with his family, got his eating habits and mental health right, and reaped the rewards of his hard work. Him and Rob's downfall was relatively private. Rob never disrespected him publicly, but they didn't communicate with each other for a few years.
How does that
afterwards.
always
Rob was
happen?
ready to give up.
I'll never understand how that shit goes down. Like, let's say, okay, for example, let's say Matt and I had a successful reality TV show. And then one of us is like, bro, I'm just fucking done. After making millions of dollars. I don't know how you're like, all right, well, fuck you then, buddy. I never want to see you again. I don't know how that happens. I guess I don't get it. But I've also never seen that level of money before. I don't know. It just seems like incomprehensible to me. I feel like they probably weren't ever that close a friend then. That's true. I guess they weren't like childhood friends. Well, wait, okay, even someone like Danny. I met Danny only, what, 3 years ago now? Let's say Danny and I had a successful TV show, and Danny's like, hey, Charlie, you fucking suck, and I quit. It's like, ah, man, that hurts. I'll see you tomorrow for PDQ. Like, I don't know. I don't see how money splits up like an actual friendship like that when you're already set for life off the millions you've made together. It's just not fun anymore. No, I'm saying I don't know how that ruins a relationship. They've both already made multiple millions upon millions of dollars. I just don't see like why they'd hate each other afterwards. That's what I'm saying. I understand why they wouldn't, or why Big wouldn't want to do the show anymore. I'm just saying I don't understand like how a relationship gets split like that. But it happens all the time. Literally all the time. In every field. Forced to spend too much time with each other. Yeah, I guess maybe they just got tired of being around each other. Having to film 13 hours a day or whatever would be super draining to anyone.
Meanwhile, he was making additional deals on the side with these brands for his own companies like Street League, Wild Grinders, and other new ventures. For
God
example,
damn.
I'm sure some of y'all remember
Ruthless
this episode
businessman.
where he dresses up as the Carl's Jr. mascot and does stunts around the factory. This is literally a giant ad, but you might also remember that Rob wanted to open legal skate parks around the country. Safe Spot, Skate Spot is what he called them.
Makes it
At
prime
the first
slick.
one, a giant Carl's Jr. star that kids would skate on. This is an example of how Rob would go to a corporate sponsor and say, hey, we'll do this integration on MTV for you, but I also want you to contribute to my personal project. So Carl's Jr. paid for the construction of the skate park. Then he did basically the same exact deal on
Thanks for
another
5
park
gift
with
subs again, Moto.
7-Eleven. You can
Fuck
see
yeah,
now
man.
how Rob was developing a lot of control over MTV because he took it upon himself to go the extra mile to set the a lot of control.
That photoshopping job is wild. Nice. That's good. That's looking good.
House. And Fantasy Factory was just a commercial for all of his new businesses.
So smart. So
February
fucking
8th,
smart.
Fantasy Factory Season 1, Episode 1. And as expected, it was a hit. Millions of viewers, not to the level of Rob and Big. The fans definitely missed him, but Rob knew just the thing that would keep people interested. Stunts and celebrities. Rob became a stuntman to fill the void of not having Big's comedic presence. Drama, his cousin, wasn't cutting it. And who doesn't love a good celebrity cameo? Johnny Knoxville, Lamar Odom, Justin Bieber, Carmelo Anthony, Ludacris were among some of the people who came to the factory. There are so many businesses that Rob started or promoted on the show. Helped get off the ground. In 2011, Big Black makes his debut appearance on the Fantasy Factory. The beef was squashed and the duo were together again. It continued the vibe of the Rob and Big days, but now they had a playground and more money. Ratings doubled when Big came back. It was like a whole new show. Speaking of whole new show, Ridiculousness premieres August of 2011 to 3 million viewers. The biggest episode they ever had. It was essentially America's Funniest Home Videos, but Rob's version to make. There have been a few different numbers thrown out there, but it seems like $140,000 per episode.
Super smart.
Is accurate. They filmed Fantasy Factory for 2 more years. 3 seasons, where the ratings were still great. Rob wanted to end the show with a bang. The end of season 6 included him breaking the world record for the longest jump in a car while going backwards, which was the second massive Chevy sponsor deal he orchestrated. The first one was kickflipping a Chevy car. The last episode, which was the 65th episode, was a 1-hour special. It was epic and the perfect way to end the series. Ridiculousness was about to enter the last contractual season, which at that point was the 95th episode. Rob wanted to...
They did 95 episodes in the 3 seasons? No fucking shot. What? Wait, was that Fantasy? Oh, wait. Oh my god. I might have just, like, brain rotted. Was that Ridiculousness or Fantasy Factory? Ridiculousness. Okay, that I believe. I thought that was Fantasy Factory he was talking about. I was gonna say, there's no fucking chance they got 95 episodes like that. No way. But here, I'll double check anyway. Oh, I just spoiled it. There's 7 seasons of this, 73 episodes. This is before streaming, TV, and cable were everything. Man, you fucking swine. This isn't before streaming. Justin TV existed right here. Well, actually, right here. This glorious era of 09, 2010. And you know who was on Justin TV? Your fucking boy. Playing Luigi's Mansion. And Paper Mario. And World at War Zombies. Streaming at a crisp 140p, baby. In fact, let me show you what that looked like. Yeah, you want to see what streaming used to look like? This is real streaming. Yeah, baby. God damn, what a throwback. Back in these days on Justin TV, they also had a 24-hour Angry Video Game Nerd rerun channel. They had 4-player podcast. I think Soda Poppin' was on there too at some point. Is there sound? Yeah, there is, but it's like ear-piercingly, like, distorted.
2 seconds!
Like, it actually just doesn't sound pleasant at all. It's easier to watch than it is to listen to. I was using a Logitech Best Buy prototype kind of thing and recording with Windows Sound Recorder. This is what streaming used to be, baby. And it was amazing. Can you believe that this website, Justin TV, got bought for, what was it, $970 million?
This deal also included that Rob's production company, SUPERJACKET, would be producing Ridiculousness and the final season of Fantasy Factory. So now, MTV wasn't even producing the content, not filming, not editing. It was all Rob's businesses that he owned. We can also assume that because he was producing the show, that his company now received a % ownership of the show. Like, he isn't just an actor anymore, he's getting those royalties, baby. Literally, MTV was like YouTube to Rob. Here's my show. Upload it. He got through the last season of Fantasy Factory despite not wanting to do it. Ratings were kind of low, but the show
Actual
was
ruthless
over in 2015.
businessman.
Unfortunately, 2 years later, we got the sad news that Christopher Big Black Boykin had passed away at age 45 of a heart attack in Plano, Texas. He is survived by a now 14-year-old daughter. Rest in peace, Big Black. now, so he sets up for another renewal. And of course, MTV is going to take it because TV is at an all-time low and MTV is going down with it. 250 more episodes.
Jesus Christ.
Basically just a talent show, which was very unsuccessful after just 7 episodes. Besides the TV show, Rob is a recluse now. He doesn't party with celebrities. He isn't doing commercials or brand deals. He's a full-blown entrepreneur building the DYRDEK machine, which is his company that
Rob
builds other businesses
blasted
with the goal of selling
MTV.
them.
The DYRDEK machine is a venture creation studio.
Hey, thanks for another
We
5
are
gift
a
subs, Modoc. Jesus, man,
business
thank
that
you.
creates businesses by systematically fusing art, science, and magic.
He's now growing.
Literally all of that is buzzwords that mean nothing. So what do you do? What is the company? Does anyone know?
He sold his production company SUPERJACKET, who had been producing Ridiculousness and a number of other shows for the past 7 years.
Whoa, wait, what? He did Dude Perfect show? I thought Dude Perfect had their own production company. Was it just the Nickelodeon one? Well, that's pretty big, actually. Thanks the Prime Wubby and the bits Cheyenne, Toodle, and Tier 1 Samurai. So it was just the Nickelodeon one?
MTV wasn't a partner or an investor in any of his businesses that he promoted and grew on their platform, but Rob was a part owner of the show that they put on their platform. He announced another 250 episode renewal of Ridiculousness in 2020, in which he would be fully done and ready to walk away forever. If Rob's salary of $140,000 per episode since 2011 stayed the same over the past decade, with Ridiculousness having 819 episodes,
God.
means he would have earned $114,660,000 just from that show.
Okay, I think I think all of the Google estimates were off. That's a really good point. I forgot that in 2011 they were doing $140K an episode. And you know, since he had so much like a stranglehold on the fucking cock of MTV, that he had negotiated that price much higher. Yeah, he very well may be up in that like $400-ish million ballpark. Easy, I'd say. That's a great fucking point. I didn't even think about that. Not a billionaire. I still don't think he's knocking on the door to being a billionaire. That is an incomprehensible achievement. Even at his level, I feel like he's probably not even halfway to billionaire. I think he's probably in the 400 mil ballpark.
Maybe he took a lower salary once his company started producing it, since now he was getting ownership royalties, but I guess we don't know. Rob today is almost unrecognizable to the man he used to be. Now 47 years old, he's a zen, calm, collected entrepreneur who is on his way to becoming a billionaire. And it's all because he got to call the shots at a multi-billion-dollar TV network for 15 years straight.
Yeah, that is so impressive. Rob Dyrdek is really an interesting guy. I didn't realize how deep that went, though. I knew that Rob Dyrdek was pretty much MTV's cash cow for a while, but I didn't realize it was all they had, and currently all they still have. Like, I bet they're still only playing reruns of Rob Dyrdek. Let's just see, like, TV schedule. I don't even know what to type in to find what they play anymore. Ridiculous. This is airing right now. Ridiculousness. Oh my god. Shameless. It is literally the Ridiculousness channel. Didn't MTV show music videos at one point? I mean, they used to. I mean, everyone knows they ventured way beyond that very early. I work nights and I can say that damn show is on in the break room all night long. I can't escape it. Yeah, when I go to bars and shit, which isn't often at all anymore, but when I went to bars and shit, there was only ever 2 things on. It was either Ridiculousness or I think it was Chive. Is that the other one? Which is just Ridiculousness, like, diet. Tosh.0 did it first. He kind of did. But I don't think people like Tosh.0 enough. Like, Tosh.0 I think was too focused on him, and a lot of people might not have liked him. Ridiculousness is super smart, where it's literally just a montage of videos that Rob Dyrdek and friends will sometimes say some stuff about with the couch. Tosh.0 would make an entire like stand-up routine around it. Everyone is forgetting Attack of the Show. That's because G4 fizzled out into such a sad fart back when it was on TV. G4 was an actual powerhouse for a while, but just like mismanagement and some bad steps along the way killed that network. They're back now, and I think they're doing better than ever, but back in the day, they killed themselves in a really sad way. And I think G4 mainly does like internet focused content now.